Hello and welcome back to All Rounder Sports, and for today's video I thought I would look at something that has been quite big recently and for quite a while in the sports side of news, and that is Formula 1. Now this video is going to have quite a few different things about Formula 1 in it, and it's mainly looking at what is currently wrong with Formula 1. And hopefully in this we're going to look at the owner, we're going to look at the drivers, the cars, the money, and just other things that go into it to try and find where Formula 1 is going wrong at the moment. Because they're losing a lot of fans, a lot of the drivers are falling out with each other, there's strange things going on in teams, the owner's getting a lot against him. So I'm going to try and find what is actually wrong with Formula 1 at the minute, and even try and find a way to solve it maybe. So firstly we'll look at the Formula 1, I said owner, but it's quote unquote owner of Formula 1, which is Bernie Ecclestone. Now, this man has been in prison before, he's had a lot of money laundering and fraud cases put against him. He supposedly has a £1 billion tax debt that he hasn't paid here in Britain. And this man owns one of the biggest sports and one of the most expensive sports in the world. Now that doesn't give a good start, really, and probably could be why F1 is in quite a lot of turmoil at the moment. But is it all one man's fault? Well, possibly yes. Now, with Bernie Ecclestone's role, I'm not fully sure what he does. But obviously he will try and get the sport global attention, which it does get a lot of global attention. But the problem is, his main aim is not to increase the sport in being watched or to get young kids into motor racing. His main aim is to make as much profit as possible whilst he is still alive, because he is 84 years old. With current times, he's probably got a lot of years left in him with the amount of money he has and the amount of treatments he can get. He probably has a lot of years left in him. But he's just trying to get as much money for himself as possible. Now, I'm sure if you spoke to him in an actual interview, he would try to deny this. But it's pretty obvious that he just wants the money. Going on to money, this is quite an interesting topic, because it's a very strange way that they work out how much of a budget a team will have or how much a team will get for a certain year. So this was something I found on the BBC Sport page for Formula 1, where it has the 2014 budgets for each team, so for the season just gone. And you can see that Mercedes are not even top, even though they went and won the thing. Red Bull had won it before, so you can expect them to be at the top. But Ferrari had struggled a lot before that, and they were still top on budget. And then you look at the amounts that get handed out. So F1 makes about £1.1 billion a year, which is just insane amounts of money. And around about, I think it's 63% of that goes to the teams, which again is a huge sum of money. That's over £600 million of that going into the teams. But it's mainly going to the top teams like your Mercedes, your Red Bull, your Ferrari, and pretty much none of it's going to the lower teams. And that is why money is becoming a big thing, because a lot of teams are dropping out. Now, why are a lot of teams dropping out? Well, in predictions, it's expected that if you want to challenge for a title or to win more constantly, you would need a budget of £200 million. Well, only 4 teams got that last year. And then if you want to possibly occasionally win a race, possibly get in the top 3 grid rows, then you would need about £100 million, which most of the teams did get, but basically £100 million. And that's if you're very shrewd in the way you do everything, which is very difficult to do in this current economy. So then you look at the actual teams. and these teams that are making huge amounts of money and have huge amounts of money to improve their cars. But then you look at how they've gone about it this year. Well, Red Bull have already threatened to pull out of Formula One multiple times this year because of engines. Ferrari have improved from last year, so they're a bit happier at the moment. Mercedes has a lot going on inside, but that's going on to drivers, and we'll get there in a minute. McLaren are down at the back, and yet their budget last year was £200 million, which is supposed to be up at the top. But they're not. So you're wondering, where is that money going? The Honda engine apparently isn't working, but surely they've got enough money to improve it. I know it doesn't happen overnight, but the season's been going for a few months now, and they are still not really improving to the amount they would want to. And then you can look into the drivers. So this basically points at Mercedes, really, with Lewis Hamilton, the current champion, and Nico Rosberg. And this has really come up after the Monaco Grand Prix at the weekend, because Lewis Hamilton had a huge lead in the race, was going to win, then rookie Max Verstappen crashes into the wall at Monaco, and for some reason Mercedes inexplicably call Lewis Hamilton in for a pit stop, puts him back out in third behind Nico Rosberg and Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel. He can't get past them because the track is so narrow. He finishes third. And then the literal only excuse Toto Wolff, the owner of Mercedes, can come up with is that they misjudged the gap by about 3.5 seconds. In Formula 1, 3.5 seconds is a huge margin. You can't misjudge something by that much. Surely you can't. So, how much is going on inside the teams where they are literally picking what they want to happen? So, has Rosberg had a strop? Has he been miserable? Has he said he'll leave if they don't let him win? And then this has happened? There's a lot of theories going on. But it doesn't help when, going back to Bernie Ecclestone, he then comes out and says that Nico Rosberg is bad for his business. Or in his words, my business. Since when did Formula One, a sport, albeit a very expensive sport, become his business? It's not a business, it's a sport. And this is where sports are going wrong right now. Most of them are becoming businesses. They are not sports anymore. And they're getting bought by business owners with business mentalities who are bringing business to them. And you're losing that ownership of a sport or a club or whatever you're looking at. You're losing that. So for Bernie Ecclestone to come out and say it's bad for his business that someone is in it, that is like someone just at your workplace. That is like your boss saying to you, you're bad for my business. Well, it's a bit different in that case, but it's just quite difficult to stomach in the sporting terms that an owner is saying that it is his business and not everyone's sport. So in the end, rather than looking at the actual possible reasons for why F1 is so wrong or bad or out of the way at the moment, I think I've basically just gone on a God knows how many minutes rant there about drivers, car differences, owners, teams. But there is a lot wrong with Formula One right now. In fact, so much wrong that a lot of the drivers are saying that they are going to start online questionnaires to get the fans' opinion on what can improve Formula One. Which I think is a good thing, obviously, because the more you can get the fans involved, the better it's going to be. But looking at it as one big problem is probably not the best way to do it, because you can say that currently pretty much everything is wrong with Formula One and a lot needs changing. But there is my opinion on what is currently wrong with Formula One. My basic answer is a lot, but I want to hear what your opinions are on what is wrong with Formula One. Do you agree with the things I've said? Do you disagree with the things I've said? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you've liked the video, hit the like button and share it as well. If you like the channel so far, hit the subscribe button for more sports content. Again, hopefully I'll be getting a few more videos out very soon. And thanks for watching.